Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Leonardo Simple G, this time with a Warframe video. Now this is a video I wanted to do for a long time, but I kept postponing until, until now. So what I want to talk to you about is a little feature that Warframe has that, not a lot of people use, not even a lot of people give it credit for, which is Specters. I really like using Specters. Now, a little background story for this. When I started playing Warframe, I always played solo. I didn't understand how to use the public setting, the public squad. Also, I didn't want to hinder the play of other players. I didn't want to really be carried a lot. I also felt like, I was probably a nuisance to players who already know. They want to get it over with, and I was still exploring everything. Going, like I said, I like exploring, so I was exploring all the maps, opening up all the saves, opening all the stashes, and other players just want to get over with the mission, and I was like hindering their experience, so I ended up playing alone a lot of times, and it was really hard. If you're trying to go with Excalibur with just a pattern and Alex and trying to do the first planets, it's really complicated. But I found out about Specters. And Specters are like that buddy that you can always count on. They're not really smart, but at least they give you a little bit of help. And I started to use them. And I remember that when, a couple of years back, a lot of years back, I played a game called Chaos Legion, where the hero controlled the what we refer here as Specters. They control a lot, and there was archers, there was golems, there were thieves. And I was like, man, this is really cool. It would be cool if Warframe developed this a little bit more so we could create actually a team of Specters that we could use, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So I started using Specters. And, I tried a bunch of different ones. Well, I just the first one I created was, of course, Rhino, because Rhino gives you a buff, and it's pretty strong, and it can kill enemies faster when you're playing with not Rhino, which is what happened to me when I was playing with Excalibur. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. So here's my selection of the four stars or four Specters that I usually use. Now, there are four types of different Specters. Now, I'm just referring here to Specters that you get from rescue targets. I'm not talking about the ones you get from syndicates or from invasions or something like that. So the four types are Vapor or Bronze, which is the lowest one, the 1 star. The 2 star, which is called the Phase or the Silver. The 3 stars is called the Gold or the Force Spectre. And the last one, and the top one, is the Platinum or the Cosmic Spectre. Now, each one falls from different rescue missions. So the lowest rescue missions will give you 1 star or 2 star. These low missions are like level 5 through 10, and the highest one, 30 or above, will give you the Cosmic Spectre, the Platinum Spectre. Now, the Vapor or Bronze Spectre, when you release it, it will have the same level as the enemies of that mission. The Phase Spectre or the Silver Spectre will have +3 levels than those that are defined by the mission. The Gold one, which is the 3 star ones, which is also the Force Spectre, will have 5 levels above the ones that are described in the mission. And lastly, the Cosmic Spectre will have 10 levels above the ones described on the mission. Also, each blueprint for each Spectre will give you a certain amount of Specters that you can use. So the lowest ones, the Vapor or Bronze Spectre, will give you 10. Once you use the blueprint, it will give you 10 Specters that you can use. The Phase and Silver will give you 5. The Force or Gold, which is the 3 star, will give you 3. And lastly, the Cosmic or Platinum Spectre, once you use the blueprint, you'll get only 1 Spectre. Starting with the lowest rank, which is the 1 star, is Harrow. Now, Harrow has 2 abilities that are really good, which is Thurible and Covenant. Thurible is when you, by killing enemies, get energy, which is really useful, and the Covenant gives you 2 things really good, which is invulnerability for a smaller window of time, and then crit chance, and then boosts your crit chance. So this was the one I used the most because it's a nice help in all the missions. I mainly use it against boss fights, especially against the Eidolon, if you follow the channel, you've seen me do solo runs against the Eidolon multiple times. So because the blueprint of the Spectre, of the 1-star Spectre, gives you 10 blueprints, that's the one I end up using the most. Now, the second one is Saring. Now, as you all know, Saring is really strong in the game just on her own. But because I build her, then I debuild her, then I build her prime, and then I don't even know where it is. Oh, I built the prime, but it's still in the forge. I haven't gotten around to use it yet. Um, so because Saring is so strong, I just had to make a Spectre out of it. The two main abilities that she had that are really good are Spores and Miasma. If you're doing any type of mission that relies on killing a lot of enemies, like Survival or Exterminate, and you want to do it fast and easy, you just drop a Spectre of Saring, and that will help you a lot. Our Spores and our Miasma affect all the enemies and all factions, whether Corpus, Veneer, or Infested, and then you can just melt them down a lot easier. So that's why she's the second one I use the most. And even in arbitration, which is for long runs, she can hold up very well. So I definitely recommend using her. The third one I use is Nova, and I use Nova for one particular reason, which is Molecular Prime, our fourth. Now, our fourth is extremely useful because not only it slows down enemies, it takes away their armor, and it just makes them vulnerable to attacks a lot faster. So I mainly use her when I'm doing defense or disruption. Also, she's kind of useful that, but especially in excavation. I started using her with excavation where I was using Frost and her, and I can go for hours with that setup. Also, the Frost setup Frost is already pretty strong, so you can do. Back in the day where relics were mainly or easier to find in excavation, I used it a lot. That's why she's my 3rd star go-to Spectre. Now I'll make a little pause here because I want to talk about something that I use with the Spectres. Now each one of the Spectres I talked to you about, the Harrow, Saring, and Nova, they all use Syndicate weapons. And why do they use Syndicate weapons? Well, because Syndicate happens at that effect that once you build up that meter with enough kills, they detonate. And that still works with Spectres. It doesn't work just if you're using the weapon. If the Spectre using the weapon, that effect will still happen. And it's very useful when clearing rooms of enemies. So Harrow uses the Tigress. It only has 2 shots, but it's strong enough to take down most enemies. So Harrow uses the Tigress from New Loka. Saring uses the Heck from Silmarillion. As you can see, there's a trend of shotguns here. But the Heck has, as you know, has a lot more a bigger magazine than the Tigress. And so because the Spectres usually have better aim than me, they also destroy targets a lot faster. And Nova doesn't use a shotgun. She uses the Sinoid Similar from the Cephalon Suda. The great advantage of using Spectre using the Sinoid Similar is if you use the Sinoid Similar also like I do with Frost, the bubbles that you fire combine with the bubbles that she fires. And although the Spectre cannot detonate these bubbles, you can. So instead of having Saring that fires 3 bubbles at the same time and you can detonate them, you can have a Spectre doing this. And the bubbles that it fires, it also combines with your ones, and you can then detonate them, which is extremely useful. I use it, like I said, I use it a lot in excavation, and if you ever want to try it out, I strongly recommend it. Now the last Spectre I have is the one I built before the nerf, which is Ember. Ember had World on Fire, and she used it, and it was amazing, and it killed everybody, and then they nerfed it. Now she doesn't have World on Fire anymore, or she has Inferno, which drops those pillars of fire. Now, I don't use this Spectre a lot because when you have the 4-star Spectre, it only gives you 1 Spectre per blueprint, so I tend to save them. That's not to say it's bad, it's just that, at the moment, it's not the best of the Spectres that I have. I've been meaning to change it, but I really don't know. A lot of people use, of course, Trinity, which is a great support Warframe, but I'm still having doubts. So maybe I'll go with Baruch, because Baruch does offer a little bit of support and is extremely powerful right now, but I don't know how he behaves as a Spectre. I've tried Valkyrie, but Valkyrie is just, I mean, a Warcry does buff you up a little bit, but not as, that's it. I mean, she doesn't, because because every Warframe that uses an exalted weapon at some point is going to run out of energy. It's not going to do anything. Unlike Ember, where she uses War on Fire, she pretty much destroys an entire room. These Spectres, Baruch and Valkyrie and even Excalibur, can't do that. So I'm a little mixed. I have a little mixed feelings about it. I'll probably change from Ember to another one later, but as is, her Inferno is still pretty strong, and if she is your strongest Spectre, the 4-star Spectre, she can absolutely melt everything. So these are my choices. Now, looking into the future, what I would like to do with these Spectre, what do I wish that could happen to the Spectres? First and foremost, I wish we could fashion frame them, because you know they just run around with the original look and the original look of the weapons, and I would like to, you know, fashion frame them. I like them to look as a team, so you know, I like to have them all with the same color. Maybe have one that looks a bit different. You know, you could maybe put an ephemeral on it, tie the colors. You know, put a little, even put little different animations on each. That would be amazing. Now the second one is a little bit more tricky, and I don't know if the would even approve of this, but just modify the Spectres. Of course, this will, I mean, if you could just modify the Spectres or whatever you want, you will always overpower everything in the game. I mean, the purpose of the each Spectre having a different level is just so you can not do that, you know, so you won't release, for instance, a Harrow with a max build of duration and power, so, you know, you just have that extra ability, because if you're in a squad of 4 and everybody uses their 4 Spectres, I mean, there'll be just a carnage, more carnage than we have right now. So, but I'm just throwing it out there, you know, it'd be nice to modify the Spectre, maybe in some way. Another thing that I would like a lot is to use more than one Spectre. Now, you can use more than one Syndicate Spectre. If you have different blueprints from each, or different Spectres from different syndicates, from different invasions that happen to you, you can use them all at the same time. But the ones that come from rescue target, you can only use one, which is, for instance, if I throw down the Vapor Spectre, and if I throw down again maybe the Cosmic Spectre, the Vapor Spectre will just die, will just disappear. Now, I don't really like that. I think that it should be active of all 4 if I wanted to. But, you know, like I said, it's like modding. Maybe it would overpower the game. I mean, if you're playing solo and you throw out 4 Spectres and then another player throws out even 4 more, maybe there will be more. I mean, the game is already overpowerful enough in your side, so it could provide that problem. But, you know, you can always do that already with Syndicate Spectres. I mean, I've seen everybody throw down the Ancient Healer because it's really helpful in defense missions or in long survivals, so maybe, I don't know. Lastly, the thing I really wanted to this is the strongest point after, you know, fashion frame, because that's that was my go-to request, is the ability to command them. It would be nice to give like a selection of orders that you can do to them, but if not that, then at least what you have for Wukong's clone. I mean, Wukong's clone, you can use the waypoint to mark enemies, or to mark a particular spot you want the Spectre to be in. And I would really like that for the Rescue Spectre. I mean, not only the Rescue, but even all the other ones. If you could just, you know, maybe you have a boss, or maybe you have a strong enemy, and you just mark them, and they all go after it, that'll be amazing. That'll be really cool. If, like I said, if you can use them with a Syndicate Spectres, because maybe you can use more Syndicate Spectres at once. So then again, for the ones that you get from rescue targets, I would really like them to work like the Wukong does. I mean, if I'm with it at my side, I want, okay, attack this enemy, or stay on this spot, or protect this ally or something, or maybe even help out a fellow squad mate. You know, go with him because he needs support, or maybe because he needs healing or something like that. I really like that, to have that. So those are my two strongest requests for Spectres, Rescue Spectre in the future, would be fashion framing and the ability to command them. to command them. I mean, that's a terrible, but to direct them in battle. The other ones, you know, to mod them and to use more than one in battle. Maybe that will be overpowered. I don't know, but it's just a wish. This is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please like and subscribe. And as always, have a great game, guys. Oh, by the way, if you have any suggestions about what Warframe I should put on my fourth Spectre, the 4-star Spectre, please let me know in the comments. That will be real helpful. So, I'll be seeing you guys.